can you tell us a little bit what it's like for you to watch the movie yourself after all this time?
You can have a lot of different experiences in Hollywood as an author, and I've had a few of them, and I have friends who've had a lot more of them, and this one is like almost unprecedented, where the whole time you just feel really grateful because everyone involved in the project is giving them of their extraordinary talent to your little story, and they're making it's so much bigger than you could have possibly made it on your own. So watching the movie, I just kept being like, wow, that is great cinematography by Ben Richardson, and like, wow, that is great direction by Josh Boone, and like, wow, these are amazing performances by these astonishingly talented actors, and like, and it just made me, yeah. And it just made me so grateful. I guess I left the theater feeling like happier about being a human being, a little sad as well, but happier about like this extraordinary gift of consciousness and the things that we can like build together. And so, yeah, it's just been amazing.
Can you talk a little bit about what you did to get ready, sort of both mentally and physically, to play your parts?
The first thing we had to do was read the amazing book that John wrote and really make sure that, what we were doing made sense in terms of the book. Because if it, the book stands on its own as being an amazing piece of literature, amazing piece of art. So we wanted the movie to be something like that. Or, if it could be as good as that, that'd be amazing. So I think, we read the book, and for me, try to figure out who this Augustus Waters guy is. And, John did an amazing job describing him in the book, and then I learned a lot about him by spending time with John, and just, I think John is sort of like, Augustus and John are very similar guys. So spending a lot
I appreciate you noticing how handsome I am.
For me, a big part of Hazel is obviously the oxygen tank and her cannula, and I thought a lot about it, and after meeting with people who they themselves were stuck with an oxygen machine 24/7, I realized that if I were to accurately breathe the way Hazel, if she were a real person, would breathe, it wouldn't translate visually to the screen, because we would have to. The movie would be really long. So for me, it was a hard, sort of tricky decision on what scenes to play out and incorporate the breathing into, and what scenes to sort of not forget about it, but not necessarily make it as big of a character as it would be in real life. And then as far as the emotionality goes, I mean, the thing with this script, or this movie, like what Ansel was saying, is the book is so perfect, and the tone is so particular and so unique, which is why I fell in love with it, and I'm sure all of you fell in love with it. There really isn't any author who writes in the way that John Green writes. And I just wanted to bring a character that changed my life when I read her in a book to the screen in a way that paid justice to who she was on those pages. And so yeah, I tried to memorize my lines as authentically as possible and show up and just listen to what was going on around me and react from that. And it's such a lucky situation when you work with such incredible actors, where every single day your only real job is to professionally listen to what they're saying, because they're so good that whatever they do brings out the best in you in a way. So thanks, guys. Yeah, I mean, I read the script almost 2 years ago now, exactly. Wow, 2 years ago now, yeah. And read the book pretty immediately after, and it changed my life. And I realized after I finished the book two things. One, I was incredibly depressed that Augustus Waters did not exist in real life. And two... Now he does. And two, I found myself totally perplexed and completely moved by the fact that one of my new greatest role models was a fictional character in a book, Hazel. And so to be a part of this movie, I always say I didn't want to do this movie as an actor to be like, look at me crying about, blah, blah, blah. It was more the book moved me so much, and I felt like there was sort of, you know, whose ever hands it ended up falling into were sort of the guardians of this book, and it was our duty to protect it and to nourish it and nurture it and make sure that when it became a movie, when it grew up into a cinematic piece, it still retained the integrity that the book had.